everybody, I am the Mademoiselle and this is my channel. And today we are going to be talking about my mental health, okay, my bipolar disorder. I haven't made a video update on this in quite a long time. If you guys do not know, I have a bipolar disorder and I also have anxiety. And I asked you guys on Instagram, if you're not following me on Instagram, you have to, because now I do reactions on there. Things that are not on here, it's not snippets, okay? It's full-blown other reactions to shorter videos. These reactions are about like under 10 minutes, so they're shorter. And you know, it's just for your entertainment, and I'd like to brand my Instagram to match my YouTube, so make sure you go on there. And I also ask you guys what videos you want to see when I'm on the fly, and I also ask my Q&A questions and stuff on there. So this time I asked you guys about what you want to know about my mental health, in particular my bipolar and anxiety disorder. A lot of you guys were asking me what kind of anxiety I have, etc., and what kind of bipolar disorder I have. So I'm gonna answer that first because that was the first questions that I got right off the bat. I might go in on a little ramble, but I promise you I'm going to answer your questions. I have a mixed bipolar disorder and I have a generalized anxiety disorder. So with my bipolar disorder, it's honestly not as bad unless I am triggered. And my huge trigger is stress and change. I do not do well with good or bad change, and of course no one does good with stress. Those two things are my major triggers, and usually if I'm going through like a deep moment of change or a prolonged moment of stress, I find the need to go on medicine. I've been on medicine, been off of medicine numerous times throughout my life. Withdrawals are really horrible. I'm gonna tell you this right now. On me on Instagram, again, you would know that I was in the hospital back in like January for my headaches because my migraines got really, really bad from the withdrawal of the medication. It was to the point where I was prescribed all types of shit. I took every pain medication you can think of on the market and nothing was helping. It was to the point they put me on codeine and nothing was helping. So the thing is, usually when I say I'm gonna stop taking my medication, it's planned. You know, it's one of those things that like I'm usually like, oh, okay, no more medication for me, I'm tired of this shit, and I stopped taking it. In this case, it was one of those things where I forgot to take it for a couple of days and I was like, fuck it, I think I'm fine without it. And honestly, I regret this decision. I wish I would have stayed on the medication because this quarantine is not fucking helping. I feel horrible. I'm not a fan of this shit whatsoever. I wish I could go outside. I wish I can go out. I wish I can go to the gym, but now I'm stuck working out at home. I'm stuck seeing people on a sometimes basis. I see my boyfriend regularly, but it's like other people that I was used to seeing, I can't see them anymore, so that's really affecting me. I don't go to the doctor's office as much as I used to. If you guys do not know, I do work at a doctor's office Saturdays only. I don't go there at all anymore since COVID. So it's like, it's fucked up my rhythm. So like I'm stressed because, okay, I'm afraid, like how about if anyone else catches COVID, because I have a lot of people who have died of COVID. So it's one of those things where it's like I'm stressed because I'm afraid any of my family members or friends are gonna catch COVID, because I have a lot of nurse friends and stuff like that. And then it's like, oh my God, like I can't see these people. Oh my God, I'm not doing this anymore. So now I'm dealing with change. Now I'm dealing with a prolonged state of I don't feel well mentally. I feel really, really scared. I feel really, really like, oh my God. So that's where my anxiety kicked in. My anxiety disorder has been really horrible lately. And I believe, again, that's due to stress and change. For the simple fact that if you guys do not know, I have been moving, or I did just move. So that was really, really stressful from the time I found out that my HVAC was leaking and can potentially cause a fire and may have mold in it and all this extra shit. It was really causing me anxiety, trying to find another apartment, and all this extra shit was also giving me extreme anxiety. But now that I'm actually moved and I'm settled, I feel 10 times better, like 10 times better. But even though I stopped taking medication for my bipolar disorder, I do still take my anxiety meds, but I don't take it every day. I take it probably like once or twice a week. Whenever I feel really, really anxious to the point where it's affecting me and I can't concentrate or I can't sleep or I can't function for the day, that's when I'll pop one. But it's not one of those things where I take every single day. Even though I'm supposed to take it twice a day, I don't see the point to do that. Just to let you guys know, I'm not going to answer every single question because I got a lot of questions, but a lot of the questions were repetitive. I did answer a lot of the questions in the beginning of this video, so let's get straight into it. The first question, a decent artist says, how is it like to have a bipolar disorder? I feel like I am two different people sometimes. Sometimes I'm the upbeat, happy, get shit done person. Next moment, I'm the depressed, I hate my life, fuck everyone type of person. So it really sucks sometimes because it's hard to really figure out who you are. That's something that I struggled with, I believe, all of like last year and into this year. It's like, damn, who am I? Am I the happy-go-lucky, get shit done person, or am I the fucking mad as shit, sad as shit, I don't want to do anything, I hate everyone type of person? Like, but then I realized I'm very, very in between, and I've always been in between, but at the same time, I'm thinking like, okay, but is that my bipolar disorder? So it comes to a point where like sometimes you can't really like identify who you really are. So that's something that I think a lot of people need to be mindful of if you have a friend that is bipolar. Because sometimes it could be the bipolar speaking, sometimes it could be them speaking, and it's very important to identify that. It's very important to identify, okay, she didn't mean what she said. She's having an episode. Or, okay, he really didn't mean to go off on me like that. He's probably having, you know, a bipolar episode. So I think it's really, really annoying because it's like sometimes I need to really check myself before I say certain things. Like, I fucked up a lot of relationships with certain people by being in bipolar episodes and not really recognizing it until later on. So, yeah, sometimes it sucks, but, I mean, it really is a part of who I am, and at this point, I've learned to accept it. Ileona296, do you feel when your mood switch, or does it just happen? I'm learning to feel it now, but a lot of the time, I don't know. Until I done fuck some shit up, or I done curse somebody out, or I done cut someone off, and I look back like weeks later like, yeah, I didn't feel like I was in my right mind. That's fucked up. Let me go apologize. Or sometimes it's one of those things where it's like, this person wasn't shit anyway, and I don't give a fuck, so they can go. Like, there's times where it's like, yeah, I'm very happy my bipolar disorder kicked in, and I cursed this person out, and ended up talking to me because I didn't need this person in my life anyway, type of situations. But there are times where I could just be laying down, or I could just be chilling, or I could be like just out and about, and I can feel my mood just shifting for no fucking apparent reason. Like, no apparent reason. So now I think I'm becoming more self-aware. Cryptic Hater 03 or Hatter? Okay. 03 says, how do you relax yourself? Because I'm going through a lot of anxiety attacks due to COVID-19. Let's see. I light candles, I color, I write, I film, I cook, I work out. That works a lot. Working out every day actually works. Even if you're just like running in place, jumping rope, walking around the block for 30 minutes, that helps really, like it really does help. Like physical activity really helps your mental health as a whole. This is Kiara X. Did you do any dramatic changes to your lifestyle? I did implement working out every day. And I did implement going out every day. Even during quarantine, like I don't interact with people every single day, but I'll make sure to like at least step out and smell some fucking fresh air. I'll make sure to write in my little gratitude journal every day. Like I have a page journal, but I also have an app. It's called, let me tell you guys, it's called 5 Minutes Gratitude. And every single morning I sit there and I write down what I'm thankful for. Positive affirmations. I write down what I'm gonna get done. I write down, you know, positive things about my day, shit like that from the previous day, so that this day that I wake up, I'm more gracious and I'm able to get things done, and I, you know, hold myself accountable. The things I've implemented: getting fresh air, gratitude journal, and exercise. That has worked a lot. How do you deal with your day-to-day life? I just do it, because I realize that and this depends on the type of person you are. A lot of people can't think like me, but I realize that regardless of what the fuck you're going through, it don't matter. It don't matter if you're having an anxiety attack. It doesn't matter if your house just burned down. At the end of the day, you gotta get shit done, because time does pass. Days go by, because when it comes down to it, no one is going to sit there and coddle you. Sure, some of your friends may care, some of your family may care, but no one is going to feel it like you feel it. No one is going to be able to genuinely feel exactly what you feel when you're feeling it. So I would much rather get shit done than wallow in my sadness. And I do know that people have to grieve. You have to feel your feelings. I'm a firm believer of feeling your fucking feelings. Believe that. I don't believe in dismissing your feelings. I don't believe in people just pushing their feelings to the side. I believe everyone should feel their feelings. But at the same time, you need to get shit done. Even if it's not everything, as long as you got up to do something that you were supposed to do today, it's important. As long as you completed one goal out of the 3 or the 5 or whatever it was you're supposed to do, that's important. The more you lay down, the more you complain, the more you do anything, the more issues you will have to face in the future. And I realized if I don't do it, ain't nobody else gonna do it. So Shortyy, I can't say the rest of that. Okay. Do you feel your emotions more? Mine's make me disconnected. I do. Without medication, I feel my emotions a lot more intensely, which is annoying because I tend to act out. Like I get really, really excited, or I get really, really sad, or I'll get really, really angry. But I've learned to just breathe and think now, because before I was a very, very impulsive person. I'm still pretty impulsive, but I've learned to think and breathe. And now me being an asshole is me being an asshole, and not just me being an asshole because boom, that's the first thing that came to my mind and I said it. So, A Shatu says, any changes you've noticed? Okay, so I've noticed that I'm a lot more self-aware. I've noticed that I really don't take bullshit now because I can't take being stressed. And I realized that I'm way more open with my emotions when it comes to talking to my boyfriend about it or talking to friends about it. So that's something that I really appreciate. I Jazz Smith says, how did you know you had a bipolar disorder? I went to a professional. I don't believe in people self-diagnosing themselves. That's just me. I don't believe in people just going around saying they have anxiety, have depression, have schizophrenia, or anything like that, and just saying it because they read a couple fucking Google documents. Like, I believe everyone should go to a medical professional to find out what they genuinely have, for the simple fact that you need to know how to treat it and how to go about it the right way. Like, bipolar disorder can be a lot of other things as well. Like, the symptoms of bipolar disorder also sound like a multiple personality disorder. Therefore, like, you need to go to a professional to really see what it is you have so you can treat it effectively. I don't believe in people just Googling shit just to Google shit. E-Cultured Michelle says, does your disorder or medication ever make you depressed? Some medication that I've been on have made me feel worse than better. My disorder used to make me feel more depressed when I was like single, because I used to think that anytime I would open up to a dude, they would automatically be like, oh no, she has bipolar disorder, I'm not fucking with her. Like, I would always think that, because I actually did have one guy say something like that, and he basically said that like the reason I was single was because people don't want to deal with anyone that has like mental health problems and shit like that, and that shit really, really hurt. And for some reason, that always stuck in my head. Even though we're like cordial, like we're not the best of friends or anything, like we're still cordial, but that really did hurt me. And sometimes it did used to make me depressed, but now it's like, man, I'm a dope ass person. My resume is lit as fuck. And I'm a good catch. So personally, it doesn't make me depressed anymore at all. Like, being bipolar is just that. Now I've learned to deal with it. Before it was something like I was kind of ashamed of, but I don't really care anymore. It's like, oh, well, I'm bipolar, end of story. And Gwen Savu says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you think it can get? I think it will get worse with time, because that's what I've observed with people who have mental health problems. Like, it does get worse, especially if you don't take care of it, if you don't take care of your diet, and plus other things do arise that cause stress, which can cause all types of other issues. So I believe it's gonna get worse. Definitely, I do believe it's gonna get worse. But I believe if I do have a hold on it and I actually care to like take care of it before it gets worse, then I'll be fine, but time will tell. Top Dominican spam, does your family know about you taking medication? Nope. I've not told my parents I'm bipolar. I don't tell them I take medication, and they don't need to know. Because to be quite honest with you, from them not paying bills, from them doing a lot of shit like in front of me or around me when I was younger, is what most likely caused these disorders. Therefore, I don't want them to feel bad about themselves, so I just don't say anything. I don't see the point of them doing anything for me. Sephora M. Benji, is having bipolar as bad as people make it out to be? Your mood switches instantly. People have this like huge like misconception that people who have bipolar disorder are really, really happy and sad in like one moment. Like, well, that could be some people. Like, people who are rapid cycling can switch moods really, really quickly, but that's very, very rare. For the most part, it's not that bad. It really isn't. Most people who have bipolar disorders are able to lead really, really normal lives. The only problem is a lot of people who have bipolar disorders tend to fuck up a lot of relationships. Luckily, I still have a lot of friends. Like, I have friends that like I've had since like kindergarten still. There's a lot of people I know who have bipolar disorder, and they're really, really isolated, really, really small circles, because they just push people away, they curse people out. And I've been guilty of doing this. I fucked up a good amount of relationships, but a lot of these people weren't really doing anything for me anyhow, so it didn't really bother me. But in terms of like relationships, I feel like it fucks up that aspect, but everything else I think stays the same. Especially in terms of like promiscuity and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of things that people who have bipolar disorder do that can fuck up relationships with other people. But I feel like for the most part, the whole conception of people just switching moods and going off and going crazy every 2 seconds is like bullshit. That doesn't happen. Okay, Bogdan Yajevic, I think I said that right. You've been following me forever. Thank you so much. Like, I fucks with you. And you asked 3 questions. So the first question is, does your boyfriend help you regarding bipolar? He does now. At first, he didn't really understand it, but he's trying his hardest every day, and I really, really appreciate him for that. Like, anytime I'm having an anxiety attack or I don't feel well, like, he'll just hold me and try to talk me through it. So I really, really appreciate that. The difference between taking medications when I don't. I feel a lot more calm when I take medication, to be honest, and a lot more grounded. When I'm not on medication, I feel a lot more loose, which is a good and a bad thing. And I feel my emotions more, which again is a good and a bad thing, because my emotions can get really, really intense, whether I'm really, really happy or really, really mad or really, really sad. And that can be really, really dangerous because I can fuck up, again, more relationships, or I can fuck up a vibe or fuck up a relationship by being way too happy or really, really sad. And like being on medication, it was hard for me to sympathize with shit, but it depends on certain medication. Certain medication will make me feel worse. Some of them make me feel good. So yeah, it's an up and down roller coaster. What is life like for someone who has bipolar? Like, it's like rolling dice, because you don't know how you're gonna feel. And depending on what type of bipolar you have, your shit may go by the day. One day you're really, really happy. Next day you're really, really sad. Next day you feel fine. You feel normal. Next day you're crying profusely. Like, so it's like rolling dice, especially when you're not on medication and you're not eating properly and you're not exercising regularly. It's like rolling dice. You don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. You can say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to go to the supermarket, I'm going to go visit my parents, and then I'm going to go to my P.O. box. But then you wake up and all of a sudden you're crying, you're upset, you don't know why, you can't breathe, you're having an anxiety attack. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's hard to plan your life when you don't know how you're gonna feel the next day. Which is why, for me, I film and edit all my shit in one sitting, because I don't know how I'm gonna feel Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I just pick a couple of days out the week, I get this shit done, so then when I'm feeling some type of way, I still have content. Gliding Guidance says, how was your process of getting diagnosed and being medicated? I went to a mental health, behavioral health type of hospital. Saw a couple psychiatrists and nurses, and yeah, it was pretty easy. But getting medication, they actually have to put you in a support group, which is so fucking annoying. Yeah, they put you in a support group, which I don't like. I don't like support therapy. I don't like group therapy. I don't like none of that shit. I like to talk to someone one-on-one, give me my drugs and let me go, or just talk to someone one-on-one. Like, I don't like that whole group therapy bullshit. But the place that I went to specifically, you have to have group therapy, and then I think you have to go like consecutively 3 times, and then you could get medication. So the first time I did that, I missed the 3rd one, and I said fuck it, and then I went back and needed medication. I said, listen, I hated that shit. It legitimately gave me anxiety. I didn't like it, so they waived it for me and gave me medication anyhow. So that was my process. Miss Icaris, have you been able to feel well, normal, without being on anything? Effed up if I skip at all. To be honest, I was fine skipping. Some medication they told me to specifically skip. Like, I think it was clonazepam. They told me to take it every other day instead of every day. But I was fine when I was skipping. It's like when I just blatantly stop that I have an issue with. I feel perfectly fine. I actually kind of feel better without the meds sometimes. But there are times where I'm like, oh my God, if I was on my meds right now, I wouldn't be feeling this so intensely. So, I mean, I guess it depends on what medication you are. The reason you feel that way is because you're probably dependent on the meds. And whatever meds you are on probably just, stay in your system as long, so you have to take them every day. Beautiful Bomb says, how do you manage yourself when you're in mania or you feel anxious? When I'm anxious, I'll just go to sleep, to be honest. I'll go to sleep, I'll watch some videos, or I'll hang out with people. When it comes to having mania, I just bang out work, because my mania is my best work. When I'm manic, that's when I do the best reactions. That's when I do the best videos. That's when I edit the most shit. Therefore, I just plunge into work when I'm in mania. Anxiety, depending on how bad it is, I just relax, because that's the only thing I really can do. And if it gets that bad, I pop an anxiety pill. And honestly, the only person that really can make me calm down from my anxiety is literally my boyfriend. So, I'll just hang out with him. Okay, Amani XOXO says, what challenges have you faced with bipolar disorder and how have you overcome them? 1 was dating. 2 was communicating how I feel effectively. And I think that's about it. So dating, I don't know.
feel like I had huge issues dating. I feel like it was all in my head. I only had that one nigga tell me there was something wrong with me being bipolar, but that was it. But no one's ever really came for me or said that I was like less desirable because I had a disorder. That was all in my head. So I had to like really put in my mind what good of a person I was in order to be in a relationship. Like I had to really like realize my self-worth for real, in order to like realize that I'm not my mental health in terms of like a bad thing. Like I always turn it into a positive thing. Like my bipolar disorder has gotten me pretty far. Like this mania shit, listen, I fucks with it. So it's one of those things where it's like I just learned to accept it, to be quite honest with you. Last question is Plainton Queen. If there's anything, do you notice the change behavior? Does someone tell you? Sometimes I know, sometimes I don't. Now I'm becoming 10 times more aware, and I'm well aware of like, oh shit, okay, I shouldn't have said that. Oh shit, okay, well I shouldn't have done that. Oh shit. But sometimes I really just don't care. And that could just be pride, to be honest. It could just be pride. For me, a lot of times what's done is done. And if I really feel like I care about the person and I really want to keep this person in my life, then I'll go back and I apologize. But most of the time, I don't really give a shit. And I just be like, oh, whatever. Be mad if you want to. To be honest, one of the worst things that I've realized during this quarantine, during these times in general, is that it seems like everything is getting progressively worse. And I just keep trying to find the positive in things. So that's something that I'm happy about in terms of with my bipolar and anxiety, that I'm learning to shift my focus. So for those of you who are dealing with anxiety or bipolar disorder, try to shift your focus. And it's gonna take a long time to do that because honestly, scientifically, you could even look this up. We are programmed to look at the bad in things. That's why people love drama videos. That's why people love conflict. That's why people will sit there and watch the fucking news all day because they're looking for negative shit. That's just how our brains are wired. In order to be successful in life, in order to cope with any type of disorder that you have, without medication, you have to learn how to shift your focus. Your mind is very, very important. You're not gonna be successful at it 100% of the time, but it's going to really, really help. And that is one of the reasons why I started my gratitude journal. So every morning I write what I'm grateful for, what I'm gonna do, blase, blase. And I also tend to stay away from anything that's going to trigger me. So I do not watch the news. I do not go down my news feed. Yeah, so if I liked your picture, it's because I'm checking up on you, okay? I literally only go down my newsfeed for like 2 seconds. Like, I kid you not. I'll click on Instagram, scroll, see the first maybe max 10. If I like them, I like them, boom. I'll look at them, maybe the first 1 or 2 stories, if that, barely. I don't check stories. I rarely do because every time I check a story, I see some shit I don't like. I see someone's boyfriend cheating on them, someone's girlfriend doing the bullshit. So I just don't watch stories. Like, I make sure I keep my shit really, really, like, focused on me. I don't focus on other people. I don't focus on other situations. Anything that I make in terms of videos is what you guys suggest to me. I keep my shit very, very linear. If it has had nothing to do with me, if it don't affect me, I don't give a fuck. Because I'm not about to get myself worked up for shit that has nothing to do with me. I realize that when I spend time alone, I end up getting trapped in my thoughts. I start thinking of things I shouldn't be thinking of. I start wishing for things. I start like realizing things that, you know, it's not a good situation. Like my mind starts to travel places where it shouldn't go. Therefore, I make sure I keep all my thoughts to myself, and I make sure I spend lots of time with other people. Whether it be for an hour, 2 hours, or like just taking a walk, just seeing other people's faces, interacting at the corner store. Like I make sure I take my time to go see other people and get my mind directed on myself and what I'm doing, what I need to do. And yeah, just keeping my mind real clear. That's it for this video. Let me know down in the comment section below. Are you diagnosed with a mental disorder? What do you do to cope? And what are you doing during quarantine to keep your spirits up? Because I really want to know. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all that. And I'm gonna see y'all